There is no greater rivalry in college gymnastics than the one shared by Alabama and Georgia. The coaches are bitter rivals. Alabama's Sarah Patterson has 3 national championships. Not to be outdone, Georgia's Suzanne Yochlin has 5. The stars for both teams are many. Alabama features national champion Andrea Pickens and All-American Kristen Sterner. Georgia is led by Super 6 sensation Kinsey Rowe and national champion Corey Fritzinger. The matchup between longtime rivals Alabama and Georgia gets underway next. We're expecting a sellout crowd here at the Stegman Coliseum in Athens, Georgia. Tonight, it's the best rivalry in women's collegiate gymnastics as the number 3 Alabama Crimson Tide faces off with the number 1 ranked Georgia Gym Dogs. Hi again, everybody, and welcome along with Kathy Johnson-Clark. I'm Chris Marlowe. 2 heated rivals who have been wildly successful. Between them, Georgia and Alabama have won 8 national championships and 15 Southeastern Conference titles. Let's start with the Gym Dogs of Georgia, ranked number 1, but they've had their ups and downs.
They're a very talented team and a very strong team, but what they're proving now is they are scrappy. Because of those ups and downs, they've had, and key injuries to the important gymnasts on their team, they've had to have gymnasts come off the bench, fill in those spots, take up the slack, and they've done just that, putting up big numbers. Most notably, sophomore Corey Fritzinger, who was already competing extremely well, stepped it up a notch when injury to Kinsey Rowe happened 4 weeks ago. And she is just awesome, putting up huge numbers, doing clean, strong, very competitive gymnastics.
Meanwhile, Alabama's record is 8-2. The Crimson Tide has already beaten Georgia down in Tuscaloosa. This is a team that has enough of everything to win a national championship.
They certainly hope so, particularly because nationals are in their gym this year, so they're hoping to build to, hopefully, a magical moment. They have a lot of depth. They have good, clean gymnastics. They might even have an edge in terms of that depth, but it's going to be close. They're led by Andre Pickens, senior. We've said it before. She tore her Achilles tendon right before nationals last year, so she's hoping to come back stronger than ever. So far, she's doing just that and lead this Alabama team maybe to a national title.
They are 2 of the most interesting coaches you will find in any sport, anywhere. Alabama's Sarah Patterson and Georgia's Suzanne Yochlin. A little bit earlier, they talked about their rivalry.
If you want to compete at the national level, you know, I don't think that some of the top basketball coaches in the country are best friends with each other. They're too busy, and I think that's the same with Suzanne and I. But I also think I have a great deal of respect for the job that she has done here at the University of Georgia. I know equally as well the obstacles she's overcome to be a top women's program in the SEC and to draw, you know, the same kind of fans that we draw, 9,000 fans week in and week out. I know how hard she's had to work, and I don't think that there's anything that I could say that could take away from the respect that I have for someone being able to do that.
In the past years, it was definitely, you know, Georgia was, you know, I always wore black and Sarah always wore a white warm-up suit, and I always dressed in black, and it was like, you know, the deep, dark Georgia team and, you know, the nice, friendly, all-American Alabama team. And, you know, that was sort of the personas that we took on. And it really got to the point where we enjoyed it so much that we would deliberately wear black and deliberately, try to do more difficulty and be not rebellious, but be on the edge in terms of our gymnastics. Not because of the rivalry, but the more people would talk about it, the more we'd want to do it.
Mercedes.
We're back at a sold-out Stegman Coliseum. We're expecting a crowd of nearly 10,000 for Southeastern Conference Gymnastics, the showdown between Alabama and Georgia. Chris Marlowe and Kathy Johnson-Clark. Alabama starting on bars. In the first rotation, of course, their big gun is Andrea Pickens. Last week against Auburn, Andrea Pickens was perfect on bars. Watch the finish of this routine. Pickens going for the 10. Needs the perfect landing. She sticks it. She gets it. Georgia will start on vault. Corey Fritzinger had a 10 against UCLA. We want to show it to you. He was spectacular.
We've seen several 10s throughout the competition. Boy, that's such a tough ball to land. And to land it perfectly, not a muscle move.
So Corey Fritzinger, the sophomore from Virginia Beach, Virginia, got the. Aileen Diaz will lead off for the Georgia Gym Dogs on vault. She's a 4'9" senior from Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico.
And you're not going to believe this. She has never competed vault in her collegiate career. Of course, she competed as an elite gymnast representing Puerto Rico. But this is a first to just show you how they're stepping up and filling in.
Her specialty is bars, but here she goes. Her first run.
It's going to be a Yurchenko laid out. She can twist this. She twisted it all in the warm-ups, but just felt not quite ready to do the harder vault in competition. But that's her first time in competition. The maximum value of that vault is a 9.8. As I said, she can twist it, and she did well in warm-ups, but clearly they made a decision to try and go for a perfect landing, even though the vault's worth a little bit less.
So over to the bars, Alabama's Tiffany Bird, the leadoff performer for the Crimson Tide.
If they have to pick an event to start on, this is a great one for Alabama. They're ranked #1 in the nation so far this season.
There was a lot of discussion in the local paper today about who had the best bars team. I guess we'll find out.
We have a competition within a competition.
After the first couple of rotations. Here goes Bird.
Now watch closely for these pirouetting handstands to be in handstand vertical and then release moves well above the bars. What the judges are looking for. You want to see big moves, big swings, and of course clean form. Pretty good start for them. She has a nice, clean, straight handstand. Only a few times did you see the little feet separate a little bit toward the end of the routine particularly.
Tide likes her in the leadoff position because she's stable. Usually lands on her feet. Aileen Diaz, a 9.65 to start the Gym Dogs off. Next up for Georgia is Michelle Emmons. Emmons had been leading off in the second position.
And this is a critical event for Georgia. This is where they've been weak throughout the season. And Michelle Emmons is somebody they need her to get over her stress in competition. She does great in workout. She gets a little nervous in competition, gets a little stressed out. In fact, they nicknamed her Teardrop. Cries a little bit. But once she gets settled down and does what she can do, what she does in practice and does it in competition. Oh, she twisted it. Good for her. Pike front half. Very funny exchange between her and her coach. She said, do I have to do it in warm-ups if I'm going to compete it? Meaning to have to twist. He just, yes. Yes, we would prefer that. And she did it beautifully. Very, very nicely done. Big step for her, too. Not on the landing. I mean, a big step for her in competition, getting her confidence.
Shannon Rozek up next for Bama on bars. She's a freshman from the Woodlines in Texas. Sensational freshman.
They are missing one of their most consistent performers, Kristen Sterner, their top all-arounder. And she was injured at the last competition, so she won't be competing. And just like Georgia, they have to have gymnasts come in and put up some big numbers in her stead.
Well, Sterner's spraining her ankle. Hopefully have her back in a week or two.
Clean double tuck. The name of the game is to not give away any tenth of a point for little sloppy things or not stuck landing. Especially at this time in the season. Those are the things that they really should be cleaning up.
Tiffany Bird got a 9.75. Michelle Emmons got a 9.85 with both teams off to good starts. Cassie Bear next up on vault. Career best 9.875.
And I really liked this vault in warm-ups. Very powerful. There's a nice explosive quality off the horse. Good repulsion. Oh, went a little bit forward on the horse. And so the vault kind of went out. In workout, she's blasting it a little bit better up off the horse. Notice how her shoulders gave just a little bit instead of really pushing that vault and getting the perfect timing. But that's being picky. But worth the 10.0.
Much improved as a vaulter this year, Cassie Bayer. Underway, rotation 1, Georgia and Alabama. Stay with us. More right after this. Southeastern Conference Gymnastics continuing here at the Stegman Coliseum. We're sold out here in Athens, Georgia. The #1 ranked Georgia Gym Dogs and the #3 Alabama Crimson Tide. Chelsea Bird set, ready to go. She had a 10-0 vault earlier this year at Maryland on January 27th.
She's very strong on this event. This is a nice look at a different vault. We see so many of the round-off entry vaults or the pike front vaults. This is a Sukahara. She enters facing forward, traditional entry vault, tap on, and then a layout with a full twist. It's worth a 10.0. You got to be strong and powerful to do this vault, and she does it with ease.
Yeah, she looks very, very relaxed. Doug McGavin, the assistant coach, congratulating her.
You have to have technique to do this vault, but most of all, you just got to be strong and fast.
Cassie Bayer received a 9.825 for her vault. And Reagan Tomasek set, ready to go. Tomasek, a senior now from Massac Beach, New York. Seems like she's been around for a long, long time. Tremendous performer.
Reagan is extremely consistent, very pretty. She does elegant gymnastics. Very nice body line on every event, but it's particularly strong on this event.
Chelsea Bird, an outstanding score, 9.925.
They really need to get some scores up in the 9.9 range. Nice release move. Very effortless swing. You see some gymnasts kind of muscle their way through. Very nice technique, long swing. Double front.
Oh, beautiful.
Very good landing. Early in the season, you see steps on that kind of landing. It's a blind landing, difficult to get the timing right and open up just right to take those steps.
Bird, a 9.925. So Georgia off to a hot start on vault. How's Georgia as a vaulting team? Outstanding, second in the nation. Right behind Arizona. Alabama is third.
And that's interesting because this has really been their weakest event throughout the season.
Corey Fritzinger set, ready to go. Fritzinger, a sophomore from Virginia Beach.
She's ranked 4th in the all-around in the nation. We saw her nail this vault once.
She nailed it again.
It was a little bit lower. You could see she had to work for that one, but she kept her feet right in the same place. Right here, you can see her feet are out a little bit in front of her. She just sits a little and slides them back maybe a 1/4 of an inch. She's becoming a veteran.
The NCAA vault champ. She should be pretty good at it. And Doug McGavin says, yeah, give me a high 10. Reagan Tomasek, a 9.85. So Bird got a 9.75, Rosick 9.75, Rice 9.85, Tomasek 9.85, and you're caught up on Alabama. Now, Andrea Pickens. Some boos from the crowd, and that is the ultimate sign of respect.
They wanted a 10.
Oh, Pickens, who had the 10 against Auburn on bars.
Watch this skill, Chris. It is huge, way up above the bar. Beautifully done. Second release move. You see routine has only gotten better throughout the season. A little cleaner, a little tighter. Good form and full in, and a quick turn to salute to the judge.
She's the #2 bar performer in the country behind UCLA's Jamie Dancer.
This is called a kachev, or reverse hecht. Really smooth, flying backwards, blind over the bar.
Fritzinger 9.925. In the first Alabama meet, Georgia had the lowest vault score in 49 meets. They only scored 48.3. Georgia doing much better than that tonight. With some big scores. Marlene Stevens on the runway.
She's vaulted very well so far this season. Look at the height off the horse. Nothing like nailing your vault at home in front of your own crowd. They raised the value of this vault this year. It used to only be worth a 9.9. It's now worth a 10. Kind of a controversial decision. A lot of people wanted to see it remain a 9.9 because they're a more difficult vault. And nobody will do them now because why bother?
Pickens got a 9.85, but the crowd has erupted. Marlene Stevens got a 10. Marlene Stevens. She had a 10 on the floor on March 16th of 2001. This is her first 10 this year, and she's congratulated by head coach Suzanne Yocklin. The final athlete for Alabama on the bars, Natalie Barrington.
This is a beautiful routine. Nice toe point. Really squeeze them together. Good variety of difficulty. One of Alabama's all-time greats on this event. Two-time All-American on this event. You can see why. Very clean, pretty work. Great landing. Little leg separation out of the double tuck. And notice where the judges sit, exactly to the side. Sometimes it's hard to see the slight little leg separation. And it's oftentimes ignored on that dismount. But when you see somebody really squeeze the legs together, let's see if we can see it right here. Nice full pirouette right on top of the bar. Just a little leg separation there, but beautiful landing.
They have corrected the score for Marlene Stevens. They've dropped her to a 9.975. Still outstanding. Her career high in vault, but not a 10. Would you like to see a perfect vault? Let's flash back to the Alabama LSU meet. Andrea Pickens on the vault runway, looking for a 10. And she hits. Pickens. Patterson thought it was a 10, and indeed it was. Andrea Pickens was perfect. We'll have more right after this. At Stegman Coliseum here in Athens, Georgia, along with Kathy Johnson-Clark, I'm Chris Marlowe. After one rotation, the results for Alabama. 5 of the 6 scores counting. Bama's group highlighted by Natalie Barrington's 9.9. Meanwhile, Georgia, some outstanding scores. Marlene Stevens, a 9.975. So after one rotation, Georgia scores its second highest vault score of the year at a 49.5. Alabama, a 49.2. Now, Georgia has won the last 10 dual meets against Alabama here in Athens. And a little bit earlier, we asked Alabama coach Sarah Patterson how difficult it is to win here. This is what she said.
I think it's equally as tough as it is to come into Coleman. It's intimidating. The crowds are exciting, you know, but I think our athletes, as I heard them come over here on the bus, to the meet tonight, they enjoy it. They like this environment. They would much rather compete in front of 9,000 cheering fans because they think they feed off the fans' energy. And I think they would much rather do that than go to a place where there's several hundred fans and lackluster in terms of enthusiasm and environment. So make no mistake about it. I mean, our gymnasts love to be here.
She has been unbelievably successful. 3 national championships, the National Coach of the Year 3 times in her 22nd season, along with her co-coach and husband, David Patterson. So after 1 rotation, Georgia has a lead. And we're set for Alabama's Lauren Holdifer. Shannon Rozek has gone. She got a 9.75. Holdifer, one of the 2 Holdifers, Aaron and Lauren, the first set of twins and sisters to compete for Alabama.
Sometimes their gymnastics even looks alike. This is a handspring front pike. Oh, a little out of control on the landing. Very nice height in the air, but definitely over-rotated.
Georgia is on bars, and this is Cassie Bear. Lauren Simpson went already, and she got a 9.75. Second best team in the Southeastern Conference. 4th in the nation are the Gym Dogs.
For the University of Georgia,
both these teams are pretty good in every apparatus. And Bear.
What both teams are striving to do on the vault is put up 6 10-0 valued vaults. And that's been the hardest thing for both of these teams, to get that kind of depth and that kind of value. Cassie Bear has been so strong for this team, coming up with big moments all throughout her career.
Her career best is a 9.85.
And obviously you love to see the stars come out and shine and get the big scores, but here's where you rack up the points. You got to have those backup gymnasts that go earlier in the lineup, trying to go for the bigger scores to build on.
Alabama's Lauren Holdifer got a 9.7. So Rosa got a 9.75. Holdifer a 9.7. The first 2 scores for Bama. Alexis Creon ready to roll.
This is one talented gymnast. Very strong, very powerful. I think she's got an extra set of springs in her legs. So she just flies. Front pike with a half twist. Now see how she's added the half twist. We've seen the front pikes. Those are worth 9.9. This vault is worth a 10.0. Right off the bat, you have a 1/10 of a point advantage doing a more difficult vault.
Creon is a freshman from Virginia Beach. Preseason she had shoulder problems, so she's worked her way back. Cassie Bear a 9.75. So Simpson got a 9.75, and Bear gets a 9.75. Marlene Stevens is up next. Coming off that sensational vault. Let's see if she can put together 2 routines in a row. Stevens, a sophomore from Houston, Texas.
She's spent the season really working out the small things on this event. Oh, no.
So the first real biff we've seen from anyone tonight.
Yeah, that was unexpected by everyone. Mostly Marlene. Gonna regroup. It's 5/10 of a point for the fall. She will probably repeat the element. It might be something that she needs. Keep in mind that all the routines are made up of required elements, but also elements that give them bonus points. They're added difficulty. And they're working up the 10-0 valued routine. Not swinging with ease. Someone who's working a little bit throughout the routine.
I've never been on the bars and fallen off, but I have to imagine the adrenaline just drains right after you when you slip.
Absolutely. Now it's hard to say whether it was a technical error or a grip error. Sometimes your grip just Now, she was just came out way too early on the clear hip.
Alexis Brion, her score 9-7-5. So 3 in a row for Alabama. Gina Rice is up next.
Well, this is someone Alabama's very excited to have back in the lineup. She's rested a few of the meets. Wow, very nice. Rodchenko laid out with a full twist, a little off center. She landed off to her right. She's had a difficult sophomore year so far, just kind of finding her way. She came on super strong as a freshman, and is kind of having most people's typical freshman year in her sophomore year, just finding her way back, finding her way. I talked to her mom, who's actually here. Her mom was an Olympian for the United States. Don't worry, Joni, I won't say what year. Joan Moore, beautiful, beautiful gymnast. And she certainly passed on some genes to Gina.
Bird, her best, a 9.85. Marlene Stevens, her score in. It's not good. 9.025. So Georgia needs to hit now. Once again, 6 athletes on every apparatus. You can count 5 scores. You get 2 bad ones, you've got to count 1. And that significantly drags down the team score.
The bad news is it puts pressure. The good news is it puts pressure, because it makes you rise to the occasion. These gymnasts are used to this. They feel such a strong responsibility to the team. They step up. If somebody misses, then next week it might go the other way.
Bird, a sophomore from Little Rock, Arkansas.
Whoa. You will seldom see a reverse hack that high. Oh, that's the bar. A little leg separation. Oh, definitely the highlight of the routine was that release move. That sent me out of my chair. Huge.
Fans want 10s. We'll find out when we come back. More Southeastern Conference Gymnastics on ESPN2, the completion of rotation 2 right after this. Georgia, the #1 ranked team in America with a record of 12-2. Alabama, 3rd ranked at 8-2. Southeastern Conference Gymnastics. Alabama's already beaten Georgia once. They did it in Tuscaloosa. Fairly low scoring in that one, 195. Erin Holdifer.
She upped her sister a little bit. Came out with, with a little better landing. Same ball. But didn't move on the landing. So watch what the judges are looking for. Good height off the horse, tight legs in the fight position, and of course, we say it every time, the perfect landing.
So Holdifer gets a hug.
Definitely an interesting matchup with these teams.
Well, they have such great history. I was talking to one of the Georgia officials earlier, and I said, when did you start playing Alabama in some sports? And he said, back in the early 1900s, we started playing Alabama in football, and I think baseball. So these two teams have a lot of history. So
far, Georgia has really outcompeted them, Alabama, on the vault. They've come up with bigger vaults, better landings. Alabama is cleaner on the uneven bars, though.
On the bars, 42 dollars.
Holdifer gets a 9.875. She's got to be ecstatic with that score. She's saying, this is how I did it. Aileen Diaz coming up next for Georgia.
As thrilled as she was competing on the vault, this is her specialty. This is where she's most comfortable, has contributed to Georgia gymnastics throughout her career, and most notably on this event. team cranking up the swing for the most difficult dismount in the competition. Double layout with a full twist. She does it with ease. As I said, Georgia's a little bit, gives up a little bit more in form. Just little things, but they do add up. But this is gorgeous. Very difficult. Well executed. Just that step back on the landing.
Solid performance for Diaz. We'll give you her score in a moment. And here comes Andrea Pickens.
Certainly no way it's not going through your mind while she's capable of a 10.
Right.
This vault is easy for her. I swear she could do it in her sleep.
Had the 10 against LSU. Can she do it again? Pretty darn good.
It was a gorgeous vault, but there was a little bounce there.
A little bit of
You
bounce.
can't ignore the bounce.
A disguised bounce.
I'd almost take that mat out. I know they have to protect her Achilles bone. It's the smartest thing to do. Keep the soft mat in there, but it's easier to step on a little firmer surface.
Okay, a little spongy on the
Watch
big
right
mat.
here. I mean, she comes in perfectly, but one just bounces a little bit. But perfect technique. Very nice form. I mean, her feet are so together throughout the entire vault.
Score for Aileen Diaz, a 9-8. A 9-8, so 4 solid scores for Georgia. They've got 1 bad score, and now Corey Fritzinger. Fritzinger, so good. Sophomore from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
She has won or tied for first in Georgia's last 6 meets. That's consistent.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Little cross vertical on this handstand. Judges are supposed to make sure that the pirouette go right to a handstand and stay in the handstand while they're turning. Good difficulty, but that's too quick a step. They're getting really, really fancy at that. They land and then just quickly turn and salute the judge rather than take a step, which is smart. That's what you should do. But you got to know the difference between a really stuck landing. She has a nice level of difficulty, good variety of skills. See how quickly she gets her arms up. Hoping they won't see those feet move.
Pickens did not get a 10, but she got a 9.975, which is terrific. We're through 2 rotations here at the Stegman Coliseum in Athens, Georgia. We'll come back, add up the scores, tell you who's ahead right after this. Back at the sold-out Stegman Coliseum. Southeastern Conference Gymnastics. I'm Chris Marlowe. My partner is Kathy Johnson-Clark. After 2 rotations, Alabama scoring well on ball, the 49.25. Pickens got a 9.975 to head up the list. Georgia, however, a little bit sloppy on bars. They really missed. Kinsey Rowe and Sierra Sapunar both injured and out. They get just a 48.250. So after 2 rotations, we are tied. Both teams 98.450. Longtime coach Suzanne Yocklin, 5 NCAA titles. We asked her earlier about her team performing in front of the big crowd.
There's just something that comes out of you that you don't have in an away competition. And that's the difference between competing in front of big crowds. And we like to say when we go to Alabama that, you know, it's a big crowd. It doesn't matter to us if it's home or away. It's the big crowd that we want. But I don't think that's necessarily the case. There's a big difference between a friendly audience and one that wants you to lose. So, you know, I think that Sarah would attest to the fact that it's the fan support that you get at home that makes the difference.
What a career. She has had 580 wins. She built this program up from the ground floor, and she has made it successful. So here we go. Georgia now on beam at the start of rotation number 3. And Michelle Emmons, the 5-foot freshman from Houston, Texas, to lead it off. There's a nice story in the paper today about Emmons being switched to the leadoff instead of Talia Vexler. And the essence was that Emmons makes her focus, makes her concentrate.
She gets nervous the longer she has to wait. So they figured, you know what, put her up first, right after her warm-up. She did a lot better. And in fact, Talia Vexler has gone first for them almost her entire career on this event. Did better in second position. A lot of strategy involved. Coaches spend their entire season sometimes finding that perfect lineup.
Now, normally you would like to have a senior leading off because they have the experience and they're steady as a rock. The freshman Emmons showing that she's pretty steady herself.
We mentioned briefly how much they miss Kinsey Rowe and Sarah Sapinar again on this event. But good for her. That's exactly what they need from this gymnast. To stay tough, stay focused. Don't let her nerves get the best of her, because she can do it.
Alabama is on floor. The top team in the nation. Gina Rice, sophomore from Longwood, Florida.
Gina had a terrific freshman year, finished third in the all-around, tied with Mohini Bhardwaj at the NCAAs last year, and was one of only 2 athletes who earned All-America honors on all 4 events and the all-around.
We talked about the injuries to Georgia, but the great Kristen Sterner also out tonight for Alabama.
We definitely missed her in the last event on vault. Actually, throughout the whole competition, she's such a steady all-arounder.
For Alabama, up first on floor exercise, Gina Rice.
So through 2 rotations, we are tied up as we start rotation 3. And here we go.
Tied for 6th on the floor exercise with Nikki Arnstead of LSU at the NCAAs last year on this event. I think she'll be happy with that one. She's definitely working herself back in, working some things out this sophomore year. Hopefully by end of the season, we'll be back as strong as ever.
Michelle Emmons, the leadoff athlete, got a 9.8, which is an outstanding start. And here comes the seasoned Talia Vexler, senior now from Amherst, Massachusetts. Had a 9.9 on beam just last week. Had some foot and toe problems during the fall, which hurt her preparation, and now seems to be healthy.
They have counted on her so often on this event. work up so high on toe. Almost a lost art these days. Striving for difficulty. Sometimes you forget the little things. Nice choreography. And I won't say it. You saw it.
She didn't turn to the judges and run away, did she?
Very straight body. Nice toe point throughout the routine.
For Alabama, on floor exercise, up next, Alexa Martinez.
Gina Rice, 9.85 on the floor. So Rice gets a 9.85, and we are coming back. Rotation 3 will continue here on ESPN right after this. Stay with us. Packed house at the Stegman Coliseum, just over 10,000 in the house. Southeastern Conference Gymnastics, Chris Marlowe, along with the once great Kathy Johnson-Clark. Georgia and Alabama, two of the top 3 teams in the nation, and through 2 rotations we are tied. And we're set now for Michelle Reeser. Alabama's on floor, Georgia's on beam. If you just joined us,
She made her debut on floor against Nebraska and was an instant crowd favorite with this Della went down to Georgia.
a freshman from Monroe, Louisiana.
She's in the right place.
I think even the Georgia fans like this music.
Winding up for the last pass. Well, I'm exhausted just watching. I kind of wonder if she has to like change spark plugs or something after. That is just on fire. She's all over the place.
Fans, please be reminded, flash photography is not permitted while the gymnasts are competing. No flash photography. The University of Georgia.
Set now for Cassie Baer. Let's review the scoring for you. Emmons got a 9.8. Vexler got a 9.825. Brianne Rutherford with an outstanding routine, 9.850. Marlene Stevens, a 9.9. So Georgia hitting so far.
Definitely taking charge on beam.
Much better on beam this year than they have been in past years, which has been kind of one of their bugaboos.
They're actually cleaner on this event. The only place I've really seen a little bit of sloppy work was on the uneven bars, just in terms of form.
In case you're wondering, the 3 top teams on beam in the nation: Utah is number 1, Georgia's number 2, Alabama's number 3.
see how the momentum builds, too, and which shows you how important that first routine up is. Get them started. Everybody's on a roll. Very clean routine. Nice difficulty, nice elegance. Didn't quite attack the landing on the dismount as well as she did the skills in the routine.
Beezer got a 9.85. And we're set now for Reagan Thomasek.
University of Alabama, upbeat stone floor exercise.
Let's run through the Alabama scores quickly. Rice got a 9.85. Rozek got a 9.875. Kite got a 9.85. Reeser with a 9.85. Very good scores, but not outstanding.
Beautiful. Whoa, I think she stayed in bounds. Just in bounds. Arabian double front. Very difficult. Good, clean routine. You'll see when Georgia comes to floor, they might do bigger tumbling passes. You can expect to see 3 double layouts from Georgia. But all you need to do is fulfill the code requirements and get your bonus points. All the routines are then worth a 10.0.
Once again, Bear got a 9.875, and now Corey Fritzinger. Cleanup hitter in this group.
Ranked 4th in the nation on this event. She combines so many good qualities to excel in collegiate gymnastics. First and foremost, she is very competitive. Loves to compete, loves to win. She's also very well trained. Going way back to when she learned basics, she has good basic gymnastics, good form. Let's see a little bigger split in those leaps. Judges are really looking for 180 degrees at the height of the jump.
Georgia's best beam score this year, a 49.5. Without Fritzinger, I've got him at 49.25. So if Fritzinger can rip one here, they might be right near their season high. How reassuring is it to have, you know, a great athlete like that going last? You know that she's going to hit at most every routine.
It's huge to have an anchor like that. But on beam in particular, I can't stress the importance of that first person up too. They're all equally important. Keep the momentum going. Keep the confidence up.
She had 20 of her 34 routines this year. 9.9 or higher. 68%. That's very impressive. Thomasek got a 9.925. So Alabama scoring well. This is a terrific rotation, as we said, for Alexis Brion.
Oh, that's sky high. The booing is for the score over on balance beam, not the floor exercise. They're not quite that unfriendly.
Yeah, Fritzinger got a much lower score than I think she anticipated. Let's give it to you. A 9.775. Yuck.
Well, yuck on the score, but there were things in there to deduct. I know it's hard for the home crowd to accept that.
Well, Kinsey Rowe is out right now. She's going to be back in March. She hurt her left foot and ankle, but when she was performing, she was outstanding. Let's go back to the Super 6 Invitational at the O'Connell Center in Gainesville, Florida. Kinsey Rowe, so talented on the vault, outstanding. Put in an all-around performance that was mesmerizing. Bars.
And all this after sitting out her entire freshman year after a torn ACL. Too bad.
Kinsey Rowe not here tonight, but Georgia doing well anyway. We're back after this. Back at the Stegman Coliseum. We're through 3 rotations. Southeastern Conference Gymnastics. Chris Marlowe, Kathy Johnson-Clark. We've got a sellout crowd. 2 of the top teams in the nation. Number 1, Georgia, and number 3, Alabama. Alabama performing well on the floor. The highlight, Alexis Briona, 9.950. Georgia able to put together some good routines. On beam, Marlene Stevens. Another outstanding performance at 9.9. Georgia gets 49.25. Alabama 49.45. After 3 rotations, Alabama leads it 147.9 to 147.725.
As I expected, it would be close going into this last rotation. It's a great rotation with Georgia on floor, who frankly, they do more difficulty on this event. Every single pass.
We mentioned the top teams in the nation. 2 of the top 3 are here. Georgia's number 1. It's based on average score now. Georgia number 1, Utah putting together some strong performances. Number 2, Alabama, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Michigan. You don't see UCLA.
Rankings can be very misleading mid-season, particularly if there are some college teams who have injuries. They're not competing their best on all events, so that'll change as the season progresses. It's just an indicator of what's happening right now.
Let's get to the balance beam. Reagan Tomasek is gone. She got a 9.85 to lead off the tie. Then Tiffany Bird fell. She got a 9.175. Shannon Rozek, a 9.575. She had some wobbles and bobbles. So now it's up to Alexa Martinez.
It might be impossible if Georgia stays on the roll they're on over on the floor exercise. Unfortunately, they're going to have to count that 9.575. And as you've seen, most of the scores are up in the 9.8, 9.9 range. A lot of pressure. Difficult to compete, I have to say. I mean, 9,000, you said sellout crowd, but unfortunately, they all need a lesson in sportsmanship here in the Southeastern Conference. I've never seen it in gymnastics. It doesn't belong in this sport when you hear people cheer when somebody falls. Pretty upsetting, actually, but they're used to it. That's what Sarah Patterson was referring to when they talk about coming here. They at least love the energy of the crowd, even if it's against them.
Well, it's something you're going to have to deal with if you're Georgia when you come to Tuscaloosa, I would think, during the national championships or when you're on the road. All right, here is Alexa Martinez. Now, Georgia has some good scores. We'll detail those for you when we get back to the floor. 4th and final rotation. This is it. Georgia, Alabama.
This is one of Alabama's best events. They haven't performed quite up to their par so far this season. But they're clean. They have a decent level of difficulty on this event. This is good practice for them. A lot of buzz, a lot of talk in the audience while they're competing on beam. You wouldn't hear it from their home crowd, probably.
Tomasek really nailed her opening performance, but since then, the next 2 performers have looked
That's too bad. She did her job.
Yep.
Started them off perfectly.
Once again, coming into the fourth rotation, Alabama with a slight lead, but Georgia certainly making up the difference on floor.
They made up a lot of it over on the balance beam, but now they're really rocking on floor. And Alabama needs huge scores from here on out.
Alabama's last dual meet win here, February 2nd, 1991. What a great home court advantage this has been for the Georgia Gym Dogs. Chelsea Bird is up next. Talia Vexler led off on floor with a 9.875. Michelle Emmons up her, got a 9.9. Lauren Simpson got a 9.925, so they're progressing nicely.
Another double layup. Oh, and out of bounds. That's when you want to stop the spring in your legs on the landing. 1/10 of a point. You're going out of bounds. It'll be a slight deduction for the big hop back. Definitely expresses herself through her tumbling much more than her dance. With power like this. Another double pike at the end. Most of the Georgia gymnasts are doing that. A lot of difficulty.
Nice routine. Had one step out of bounds. But pretty darn good.
Performs this double pike at the end of the routine with great ease, a little short on the landing that caused her to hop forward. So her deductions will be on those two landings.
Lexa Martinez got a good score, 9.750. And we are coming back. Fourth and final rotation. Georgia and Alabama going right down to the wire. Chris Marlowe, Kathy Johnson-Clark, sold out Stegman Coliseum, Southeastern Conference Gymnastics. After 3 rotations, Alabama led 147.9 to 147.725. Then Alabama went to the balance beam, and they've been struggling. Georgia's been on floor. Georgia has been humming. Now, Gina Rice needs a big score for Alabama to have any kind of chance here. Bama has a 9.85, a 9.175. They hope to drop that, a 9.575. They'll have to count that. Martinez got a 9.75.
They've given up a lot of ground so far. It's almost impossible. We'll see what happens.
One of the pitfalls of being the road team, you have to finish on balance beam.
Soft she landed. kind of routine they needed from everyone across the board. Needs a duck landing here. Very strong routine. Now she can breathe. Just love how light and airy this is. 2 layouts in a row.
Strong.
A little more difficulty than we've seen from others, and great landing on the dismount.
Chelsea Bird, a 9.575. So Bird, a low score. And maybe a door opens for Alabama. A little bit of a crack.
On floor exercise for the University of Georgia.
Corey Fritzinger. Ready to rock. Got some new elements this year in this routine.
She lights up on this event. She is dynamic through the dance and the tumbling. Expressive in both. Oh, she got lost. It's supposed to be a triple twist. Fortunately, a 2.5 twist is a move, and you don't call your tumbling pass, but you could definitely tell she was lost. They need a very good landing here.
She's got style. You can say that about her.
Definitely has some style. I think she had a little wind taken out of her sails getting the lower beam score than probably the team expected, certainly, and the crowd definitely expected a little higher score.
For Jay Newman of Golden Pantry, please report to Tunnel 2. Jay Newman of Golden Pantry to Tunnel 2.
Gina Rice, a 9.925. So Rice puffed up after that routine. Gives Alabama some hope. Remember, they've got Andrea Pickens.
This is
ready
huge.
To go.
With her really rocking a big one, and Corey not quite up to snuff, particularly on that first pass.
The NCAA champion in 1999 on balance beam.
A lot of pressure here.
Remember, Alabama's already had a fall. They've got a 9.175 they're hoping to drop. So it's up to Pickens, a 5'2" senior from Houston, Texas. Last year suffered a terrible injury, a torn Achilles tendon. Had to sit out the NCAA championship. And without her, Alabama was doomed. Any hope gone. So here goes Pickens.
She's gradually put back in some of the more difficult elements in her routines, including the dismount, which I'm sure we'll see here. She'll do her more difficult double tuck. Sometimes they rest it a little.
How tough is the beam on the Achilles?
You know what? They tell me her Achilles is not bothering her at all. She doesn't feel anything right now. They're just playing it safe, as they should. She's not competing on floor exercise yet, although she did perform 2 full routines in workout. She's ready to go. They're just being careful. But of anything, the dismount. When she gets to the dismount, you'll see the torque possible on the Achilles. She needs to be perfect, and she knows it.
Thing is, she's got the potential to be perfect on any event she does.
And when I say perfect, it's a relative term, really. perfect for her. The best she possibly can do. Try and give up no tenth of a point in balance breaks, form breaks. And double tuck. Whoa!
Pickens.
Well, you know what? They came back. They came back strong. But Georgia's not done yet either. I don't know. I've moved to the edge of my seat. How about you?
Yeah.
They're responding. Good for both teams.
That's a sensational routine.
They love this pressure. This is the kind of pressure they have to get used to as they head toward nationals, the remainder of the season, then nationals.
Pritzinger got a 9.8. So the final competitor of the night, Marlene Stevens, is going to go for Georgia. Pickens got a 9.950. So it's up to Stevens. Priority number 1, stay on your feet.
That's a huge double layup. Only rivaled by her smile at the end.
She's had an outstanding night. Pandemonium at the Stegman Center. That might have secured the win for Georgia. Wow. What a dual meet between Georgia, number 1, and Alabama, number 3. When we come back, we'll add up the points, declare the winner. Back at the Stegman Center in Athens, Georgia, the 4th rotation scores are in for Alabama, struggling on beam just a bit. Andrea Pickens did lift the team, a 9.950. Georgia was sensational on the floor. Marlene Stevens, a 9.975. The final score from Athens, Georgia, the Georgia Gym Dogs, they win at 197.2 to 196.950. The individual event winners, Kathy?
Andre Pickens and Marlene Stevens took the top honors, showing very strong vault and the ever-important great landing. Huge scores for both of them. And Natalie Barrington showed her easy style, winning the uneven bars title. And on the balance beam, Andrea Pickens helped her team with a dynamite routine, winning the balance beam. Big score of 9.95. And on the floor exercise, it was Marlene Stevens again, just stealing the show, 9.975. And your all-around winner with a terrific effort, Gina Rice.
So Georgia is now 13-2. Gym Dogs remain undefeated at home. Bama is 8-3. Georgia now has won 11 straight dual meets from Alabama here in Athens. Once again, Georgia wins it. We hope you enjoyed it. For Kathy Johnson-Clark, I'm Chris Marlowe. So long from Athens, Georgia. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.